Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again. Real Kenz TV in the house like kitchen sinks. Now, before I get into today's story, if you will, understand that I'm the self-proclaimed Mr. 30 Minutes or Better. Meaning that anytime I drop a video, it's guaranteed to be 30 minutes or better. So if you're on your way to work, you're at work, you don't feel like being there as we so often don't. You're on your way home from work, you need to laugh, you need to cry. Perhaps you're trying to lay down and take a nap. You're trying to go to sleep at night, depending on whatever time you're listening to or viewing this video. Or you're just in the mood for a good old-fashioned true, keyword being true, penitentiary/life, story/life experience. This is the channel for you. If you prefer your 8 to 12 to 15-minute videos, absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But at Real Kenz TV, it's 30 minutes or better. So with all that being said, there is a message. You know, I had full intentions of telling you all a story as far as like how the prosecution works and how treacherous and how just monstrous the prosecution can typically be. But I don't know, at the last minute, I just felt compelled to kind of just set that story to the side. And I want to talk about something, and I want to give an individual his flowers while he's here with us. I want to talk about Jay Williams. I haven't done a Jay Williams videos in ages. To be perfectly honest, I told myself I was completely done doing Jay Williams videos. After all, he is out now. He can speak for himself. And I always deem myself as the bridge. Now, maybe not technically, always. But from the time to where he first caught that case that he, has gone through. And notice that I said has gone through because he's completely put that behind him. Pause, double pause. He couldn't really get out and speak and tell his point of view and tell the real truth and nothing but the truth. So a lot of people, although you had the majority of people that were in full support of Jay Williams, you had a lot of individuals that was out there putting false narratives, to say the least, in the air. I know how that feels. Being that I've gone through that multiple times. So I say, you know what, man? This guy is the reason that I'm in the game. This guy is the reason that gave me the courage to start my YouTube channel just from watching him. I must come to his defense. Now, I'm not trying to big myself up as though I did a hell of a job or, anything of that magnitude. It was just something that I felt the need to do because I know how it is to be charged with something and people are saying this, they're saying that. The majority of it's not even true, and you can't even really speak for yourself. You can't even really, you really want to jump online and say, no, you all are so wrong. This is what happened, that happened, then I did this, then I did that. But being that you're dealing with a ongoing investigation, an ongoing court case, obviously, if you're smart, you can't do that. When I was making these videos, I never really did it with any sort of motive, intentions. Perhaps those are the proper words to use. See, I never reached out to Jay Williams. I never said, hey, Jay, man, if you see this video, holler at me. If anybody knows Jay Williams or... No, that wasn't the case. I put out a couple videos in support of Jay Williams, combating the haters. Again, the majority of people supported him, but it's always going to be somebody that judges you. Always, no matter what you do, no matter, and the higher you get in life, the more hate is going to come in your direction. Especially when you find yourself in a precarious situation, as Jay Williams was in. But not just Jay Williams, we all go through things in life. See, we all deal with things. It's just different spectrums. Our lives, the majority of people's lives that are all making presumptions and all have something to say on a negative end, their life is not under a microscope, a magnifying glass. So the things that they've done, the mistakes that they've made, it's kind of brushed under the table. You get what I'm saying? So I'm watching Jay Williams. He went live a couple nights ago. And I definitely appreciate the shout out that he gave me. I watched his live video and he gave me a shout out, and I'm definitely appreciative of it. But I was watching his demeanor. I was watching how he delivered. I was watching just his overall, just his overall, I don't necessarily want to say well-being, but just his, I guess demeanor was the proper word to use. And it's definitely something that's a little different. Actually, it's not even a little different. It's definitely something it's a noticeable difference opposed to when he went in and now that he's home. See, I think, and I haven't talked to Jay. I haven't called him. We've talked on the phone several times prior to his incarceration. I'll pick up the phone and call him. Text with him a couple times, since he's been home. But I know how it is when you first come home. You're dealing with your family, which is a great thing. You're dealing with, so many other avenues that I say, you know what? I'm going to just kick back. Glad you home, bro. He hits me back. Thanks, Real Kenz. I appreciate you. Kept it moving. Watch his video that he initially put out. And as I mentioned, I watched his live, and he's just I don't know, because I haven't spoken with him, so he hasn't told me this, obviously, but he just seems to be an individual he's fully focused. But he's not focused on the construction business. He's not focused on YouTube. He's focused on his family. See, I think at some point along the way, the success, all of the notoriety, the fame, because let's face it, if you have 300,000 subscribers, in a sense, you're famous. You may not be famous, Hollywood famous, but you're recognized way more than your average individual. The money, the pressure of putting these videos out, because you understand that people want to see you. And I've always admired Jay Williams for that, because I talked to the guy on the phone. Our first conversation was probably a 3-hour conversation, man. No cap. And it felt as though I knew him for several years. Now, it could be because I watch his channel so often. So, I hear him speak. And when it's coming through on the camera, I'm hearing this same sound come through on the phone. Somebody called me maybe about a week ago. And he asked me a question. And in my comments, I sent him my information. He called me. And he was like, wow, Kenz, it's crazy because the same way that you sound on camera, you sound the exact same way on the phone. I feel as though I'm listening to a story. That's how it was when I was speaking with Jay Williams. The dude is so cool. The dude is so honorable. The dude is so unconcerned with himself and his own feelings, that in the midst of everything that he was dealing with, they was trying to send him to prison for several years, and he's dealing with family issues and people saying this and saying that. He said, Kenz, we're going to do an interview, man. We're going to do an interview. Whenever you're ready, man, we're going to go live or what have you. I'm going to bring you up and introduce you to my audience. And I said, Jay, that's not even necessary at this point, because I understand what you're going through. We rarely even spoke about YouTube. A lot of the times he talked about, his family, his oldest son, his youngest son, little Bella. How he was teaching his son to play basketball, teaching him to dribble with the left and right hand, taking them both to school, tucking them in at night. Just doing things that a father would do. These are the things that most of our conversations consisted of. No YouTube. See, at that point, it wasn't about YouTube. It wasn't about bringing me on your platform and so people can be, introduced to Real Kenz. Because the truth of the matter is, he had way more problems to deal with and way more issues. But at the same time, not necessarily saying that he pushed that to the side, because family's first. But he still said, you know what, Kenz, I'm going to bring you on my platform, man. It's not necessary, Jay. If it happens in the future, it happens. I'm not going to turn it down. You see what I'm saying? But if it happens, it happens. But if it don't happen, it doesn't have to happen. See, I had no motive, as I mentioned prior, for doing the videos that I did. Just like I don't have a motive now. Other than giving Jay Williams his flowers, letting him know that I appreciate him for everything that he's done, the advice that he has given me. And just to let him know that if anybody understands, it's me. I definitely understand what you're going through, man. He mentioned that he had to go see his probation officer. When you live in life as a convicted felon, the truth of the matter is it's very difficult at times. Especially when you're dealing with probation and parole, because there's absolutely no room for error. Now, if you catch a good parole or probation officer that's, genuine and has a heart, then your journey along the way could be a lot smoother. But at the same time, there's still pressure. Understand this man is raising a family. He's doing everything that he's supposed to do. At the time, the construction business had things going on with that. Everyday life. Then I still have to come home and do my YouTube thing. Oftentimes, I would imagine that he probably didn't even barely have the energy to put into making a YouTube video. But knowing that he knows that individuals count on him and they want to see him and they want to hear his voice because he really brightens people's days and nights, evenings, lives. He did it anyway. Well, come on, Kenz. It's not that hard. How hard is it to just cut on the camera? If you watched his live the other night, he spoke about how his day goes. Wake up in the morning. Get my kids up. Get them ready for school. Fix them breakfast. Make sure that they actually eat their breakfast. Remember, they're young, 5 and 7. Then I got to drive 45 hours. 45 hours, that'd be a hell of a trip. 45 minutes to school. Make sure that they get in school safely. Drive 45 minutes back home. Once I get back home, I do, things around the house because I'm speaking as though I'm Jay Williams. I have been gone for 7 months. My wife did an amazing job, but I'm sure that there were some things that she couldn't necessarily tackle while I was gone. So I hadn't had no, a lot of these, not necessarily chores, but just things that need to be done around the house. I do all of these things. At that particular time, once I've done that for a few hours, you look up, wow, it's time to go get the kids. Drive 45 minutes back, get them in the car. You know how it is when you're picking your kids up from school and the bus stops and the kids walking everywhere. So it's not just a in and out situation at all times. Get them in the car, make sure they seatbelt up. Everything's cool. You're talking to them. You go back home 45 minutes. Hopefully there's no traffic. By the time you get home, you got to get them prepared. You get the food ready. You probably already took the food out earlier during the day. Get them ready, help them with homework, make sure their clothes and everything's ready for the next day. Kids want to unwind, laugh, and joke and talk. And by the time you do that, 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the evening, it's time for them to, take a shower, go to bed. Salute to all the women out there that's done that for years, man. I understand that there's guys. See, I get flack in my comments. Come on, Kenz, you act like dudes don't do anything. I'm just speaking in general. And in general, women are the ones that are the sole providers, as far as not necessarily the sole providers, but the ones that make sure that, the kids is fed and homework is done. Because a lot of the times, if the male is even remotely in the house, we're out working or we're out doing things, and the wife or the girlfriend or just the mother, she's making sure that those kids are good. Not to say that you're not, just because you're not there, but she's spending the personal and intimate time. Well, Jay is in a situation now to where he's doing these things, but guess what? He appears to love doing them. These are the things that you miss when you're in prison. He spoke about one of the main things that he missed is just being normal, being able to just go to your refrigerator, Being able to go and take a shower on your own, or when you got to go to the restroom and you can go in the restroom and read your magazines or the newspaper or get on your phone, whatever just by yourself, the intimacy. Because when you're in prison, they have toilets, and the toilets are probably, I don't want to exaggerate, the toilets are probably about 3 to 4 feet away between each other. So you may have 5 toilets in a row. A lot of places don't even have walls or curtains or anything separating. So you sitting on the toilet, and there's 4 other dudes sitting on the toilet. Then you got dudes in the shower, because the bathroom is like a large area. It's kind of like the hangout spot. You got dudes that's at the sink shaving or, lining themselves, shaping themselves up. Then you got dudes just hanging at, just in the bathroom, just chilling, just kicking it. The scary part, that becomes normal. Imagine if you've never done that and you're going to the bathroom and you got to handle your business. You got to use the bathroom. COs walking past the bathroom. It could be women, it could be men. Imagine that being the norm. Imagine having to smell someone else's feces or whatever all day, every day, anytime you go in the bathroom. That becomes the norm in prison. Imagine going in the shower and you say, all right, I can get in the shower now. There's nobody in here. Then you look up, you're not even in the shower 2 minutes. 3, 4 dudes get in the shower. So now you trying to hurry up. You don't even have any time to relax, and you trying to hurry up and get up out of there because you don't want to shower with 3 or 4 other men. He also told a story about when he got into the shower, he wasn't aware that at this particular place, they wore their boxers in the showers. Look up, never look down. He look straight up. He takes his, everything off, gets in the shower. He's taking the shower, only to find out they come to him like, bro, what you on, man? I kind of found that humorous. What you on, bro? What you mean, what am I on? You know how Jay talks. What you mean, what I'm on? Why you take your boxers off? What do you mean, why I'm in the shower? I'm taking a shower. Yeah, but everybody keeps their boxers on at this particular juncture, this particular facility, in this particular environment, the shower, however you want to slice it and dice it. Whoa, I didn't even know, man. I wasn't looking down. I was looking up. I was looking straight ahead. You know what I mean? Prison has politics. Prison has a whole different set of rules that you have to live by. So being that you've been on the street for so many years now, you come back into the system, you have to become acclimated into the violence, just the horrific things that you're going to see and hear in prison. But there's only one problem, several problems, but the main problem is I'm no longer the Jay that I was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago when I first entered the system, and I'm wilding out and I'm fighting and I'm tattooing and I'm batty, and rowdy, and I'm about whatever. Oh, man, I got to get home to my kids, man. I got people living for me. I got people depending on me. I understand that I made a mistake. I got a blessing. I got to do these 7 months, but I have to bypass all of the foolishness, the foolery, and get home to my kids, man, my family, because they need me. See, at the end of the day, yes, YouTube, the money's great, the success, the glamour, the recognition, but at the end of the day, my family is what means the most to me, man. Y'all rock with me. Y'all jump in my comments and let me know where you chime in Lexington, Kentucky, man. It was a different Jay. I see how focused that he truly is. Not that he wasn't focused prior. Because to be perfectly honest, ever since I've met the man, I've always wondered. And I asked him, Jay, how do you remain so humble? People are starting to recognize me, and I have nowhere near the subscribers that Jay Williams has. How are you able to remain just so calm, cool, and collective the way that you are? Because I'm gonna tell you, Kenz, man, I'm not proclaiming to be perfect. I'm not acting as though I don't have temptations like any other man, any other person. But I love my family, man. And all the success, I love it, but it's not going to my head for the simple fact. I remember when I was just regular Jay. Now, the reason that I feel as though he said the regular Jay, meaning that without YouTube, he was already successful prior to YouTube. You know, he knew how to use his hands, build houses, flip houses, had a construction business. He was already successful. But when I say YouTube, meaning the notoriety, all the people recognize him, can't even go to the Walmart or the gas station or somebody, hey, what's up, bro? You Jay Williams? Yeah, hey. But he remains the same. I've always talked about how being in prison, in my opinion, being in prison is the closest thing to being unalive. Because all an individual truly has of you is what? Memories. Most of the time you're in prison, you don't really get to get on the phone and talk to a whole lot of people. You talk to your family if you're fortunate. You may talk to a couple of your friends here and there, receive a letter or a JPay or email. But for the most part, you feel as though you're in there alone. I'm going to give y'all an oxymoron because you're in there alone, but you're really not in there alone. You're in there alone physically, but you're not in there because you're his kids, his wife, loved ones, friends. They all miss you. 15-minute call, video call, phone call, I don't care for several times a day, can't fill that void. See, the phone's cut off in the penitentiary 11 o'clock here in Kentucky at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock on the weekends. What happens when your kids wake up in the middle of the night and it's storming outside and they looking for daddy, but daddy's not there? Or something happens at school and they get into it with a bully and they don't really know what to do and they want to come home and talk to dad. Daddy's not there. Or when they're outside riding their bike or skating or skateboarding or playing basketball, football, whatever, and they fall and scrape their knee up and they run in the house, daddy's not there. 15-minute phone call can never fill that void. He talked about how his son didn't want to speak with him and come and see him on visit. These are the things that he'll never forget. These are the things that will forever fuel him and motivate him to not be in that situation that he was once in. And again, no knock to him whatsoever, because we all do things that we're not supposed to do. Sometimes we have a tendency to get too lackadaisical, too, lax. We reward ourselves. That's like if you're an addict. You're dealing with recovery. Man, I ain't had a drink, man, in a year and a half. I'm doing good out here. Let me give me an old brew, man. I deserve it. I've been working hard. I've been working 60 hours a week. I've been staying out of trouble. I got my own, apartment. I got a car. I got a couple of dollars saved up, man. I'm in my kids' life. You know what? Let me have me a beer, man. I'm okay. The problem is 1 beer turns to 2, 2 turns to 4, 4 turns to 8. Next thing you know, same lifestyle. How did I get here? You looking around, how did I get back to this same situation? It was all good just a week ago. Y'all rock with me. I see an individual that's focused, determined to just, you can see it in his face. Look at him. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of times when you're doing these YouTube videos, it's not just turning the camera on it. No, you have to mentally prepare for this. You got to think about what you're going to talk about. You don't just jump on here and you tell a story. You have to mentally be prepared, because you have to remember the story. It's not, you may remember a story, but you have to tell that story in your head prior to coming on camera, so that it translates to the audience to where it's believable, to where they can feel you and fully understand exactly where you're coming from. Once you do that, you got to go back. You got to edit the story. Once you edit the story, you got to upload the story. Now, I don't know exactly how he does this, but, you got to come up with your thumbnails. You got to come up with your titles, your descriptions, your hashtags. As he mentioned, you may start a video and even though the video may be 35, 40 minutes long, that whole process may have taken 5 hours. I know I've done videos and from start to finish, 45 minutes that it took me to actually record the video. Let's just say it was done by 3 o'clock p.m. It may not upload until 7 o'clock, depending on the internet, depending on how fast the internet is. There's a lot of different factors. I don't understand why we don't hear from Jay more. Why don't he upload more? Because Jay is living his life. He has kids, he has responsibilities. These are not things that I just am assuming, which one could assume. I've been on the phone, pick up Jay right now and call his phone. If he can't answer, if he can't talk, hey, yo, I moved my kids, man, I'm going to get back with you. Typically, he's going to get back with me. Usually it's in the morning time once he got his kids to school. And that's typically how, when we did speak, that's what it was. A lot of times, man, I found that people that listen to us YouTubers, some of them are inspired. They want to, I don't like to call it fans. I don't like to call, they're just genuinely concerned and have love for us. They've seen Jay's journey. They may not have seen prior to YouTube, but they've heard all about it. They've seen his pain. They've seen his frustration. The times that, this happened, somebody hacked into his account and he's having to fire people that he genuinely loves at his business that he's known for years. But I know that I cannot have this around my business. They don't understand what they actually do understand that. That's what I really, really, in my opinion, makes his channel so successful. Because he showed another side that most YouTubers are not willing and not brave enough to show. And that's absolutely okay. You don't have to do that. But he invited you into his world. That's why I don't hide anything. People know my name. People know where I'm from. People know. That's why I never lie about a story. Never. I don't care if people jump in my comments. This person, Banky Pound told this story. Shout out to Banky Pound. I'm just using him as an example. No shade whatsoever. But I've heard people, man, Banky Pound told this story about how they stopped serving chicken in the Department of Corrections in Virginia. Do you understand that this happens everywhere? You just think that things happen in the Virginia prisons that don't happen in California, Oklahoma, Kentucky, Minnesota. You understand that prison is prison, right? We're just hearing about it from an individual, but there's many, many individuals. And I'm sure that if a lot of people told prison stories, you would hear a lot of the same stories over and over and over again. But some of you weirdos jump out, oh man, he's stealing stories. Man, I don't never steal a story. Never. I don't make up stories. I walk these streets. I'm not in the streets, but I walk the streets. Who I look like being on the streets and they say, hey man, you was the dude that was acting like you was in the joint, you know what I mean? Running stuff, man. You wasn't in there doing all that stuff you talk about. And that's a situation right there at hand. I ain't never been no gangster. I ain't never been no bully. I'm just a stand-up dude, man. I go to the joint. I've been to several different penitentiaries. I've been to camps. I done been to low level. I done been to high level. I done been to county jails. I done been to a lot of different places. Was never running no prison yard. I was never in there knocking fools out, but I stood up for man. I got in several fights. I never backed down. I never ran. I won some. I lost some. I ain't never ratted on nobody. Had several different cases in which I had crimes in cahoots. That's what the feds call it. Although, by the grace of God, I didn't go to the feds. Crimes in cahoots, meaning basically conspiracy. Crimes that, you're in cahoots with other individuals. 13, 14 individuals on my indictment, all pointing the finger at me, and I'm still going to trial with it. Man, y'all just going to have to give it to me. I brought my co-defendant on. And he attested to some of the situations and stories and cases that we both went through. And we laid down and did our time. Man. Ain't no telling. But the best thing is just don't even put yourself in that situation, and you don't even have to worry about telling and the rumors and people saying you did this and saying you did that. When I'm watching a live, an individual jumps in the comments and asks Jay, hey, the police should have had on body cam. Could you provide the footage? Why? Why does he have to do that? To prove something to you, to prove something to the people, to prove Jay, man, so just professional said, hey, man, I don't know. I'm quite sure that he did have on a body cam, but to be perfectly honest, I just want to get that past me, man. Raise my kids, man. Be home with my kids. Do what I need to do for my family. Nobody wants to relive that. That's why he's venturing out of the whole prison stories into something else. As far as, he said he's going to start doing like true crime or something of that magnitude. When you tell prison stories all the time, it's cool. You all like it. It's something that, it's entertaining, but not for the individual that went through it. Yeah, you can look back and think about different things. You may even laugh about some things that happened. But prison, man, is hell. Hell on wheels, man. You have situations in Kentucky anyway, to where they send you to these county jails. You're supposed to go to prison, but the prisons are so overcrowded, they have no room. So they'll send you to a county jail. And you'll do your time literally in a county jail. You don't get contact visits. When your family comes and visits, you got to talk to them through a glass for 30 minutes, 15 minutes. Hell, a lot of these county jails now in Kentucky, which are called regional jails and Class D facilities, you don't even have visits. They've taken visits. You have to talk to your family through one of these, a tablet. Hey, how you doing, baby girl? Oh, you look, yeah, where your brother at? Oh, okay. I love you doing what you're supposed to do in school. Okay, daddy'll be home. I know, I love you. Let me talk to your mama. And you only get so much time, and they charge you per visit. You don't even get interaction. You don't get to hug and kiss your kids and your wife and your love. You don't get any of that. This is your means of communication, a tablet and a phone. And if you don't have no money, guess what? You don't get to talk to them. Everything's about money in prison. I'm glad that he was able to make it home. I hate the fact that he had to go, but sometimes the negativity turns into a positive, and it becomes a situation in which you like, you know what? Had I not gone, I don't know what would have happened. My life may have been spiraling out of control. I'm not saying his was. I'm just metaphorically, I'm just using this as an example. Sometimes God puts you in a situation to where, he's trying to talk to you, he's trying to tell you, but, you're doing this and you're doing that, and you got so much going on that you don't give him any time. So he say, I love you so much, son. I'm going to sit you down to where you have no choice but to listen to me. Rock with me, man. I'm going to sit you down, son, because I love you so much. You have no choice but to listen to me and hear my words, whoever your higher power may be. He went in there like a man, did his time. He's back out here on these streets, doing what he got to do. Family first, fully focusing on his wife and his kids. And I got nothing but love, admiration, and respect for him. Probably won't see another Jay Williams video from me, definitely for a long, long time. But I had to give him his flowers. I had to give him a proper welcome home, bro. If I ever come to Virginia, which I'm sure that I will, hopefully we can link. And it takes a lot, man. It takes a lot. Being in his situation, being in his shoes, the IRS that he had to deal with, the people that was, lying on him and stealing from him, and not anybody that's obviously was close to him, but just people will kick you when you down, and they'll seize the opportunity. They'll seize the moment. Hey, let's act like we Jay, man. Let's put up a false cash app. Let's do this. Let's do that. And he has to answer to that. But you all that watch him are such great, just people in general, rather. You understand how to maneuver in a room full of vultures, how to, swim through muddy waters. Respectfully. Y'all know the real from the fake. Be patient with him. He just came home. I'm quite sure that the videos will start to drop more and more often. And I understand the love and admiration that you all have for him because you just want nothing but good and great things for him. I'm sure the videos are coming. But right now, you have to let him get situated, if you will, back into his home life. A lot of times they tell you when you come home from prison, they have a thing that's called a reentry. And once you get close to re-entering society, I said society. Society. I want the knife. If y'all haven't seen The Golden Child, you wouldn't understand. But if you have, you fully understand. When you're re-entering society, they teach you that when you go back into your home, one of the things that I was taught, when you go back into your home, even if you are married, you have kids, you have a wife, significant other, don't go back as daddy's home, I'm the king now. No, you have to, because things have been, you ran things a certain way, but you've been gone. So things are not going to run exactly, the way that you had them as far as when you were out. So now you have to just kind of reintegrate yourself back into that household. And eventually things return, but you can't just come home automatically. Hold on, no. What are we doing? Why ain't this room clean? Why ain't you do your chores? Why didn't? See, you can't guerrilla. You can't bully. See, in penitentiary, you see a whole lot of bullying and guerrilla and, but nah, this is real life. And over time, things get back to how they were and even become better. But it takes time, man. All the individuals that bash Jay Williams, I just challenge you all to look at yourself in the mirror. Are you perfect? Nah, but Kenz, he should have known. He put himself in that situation. Are you perfect? See, we all put ourselves in some form situation somewhere along the lines. The fact of the matter is, Jay, whatever he allegedly did, if he wasn't already a convicted felon, he probably wouldn't have been charged with anything. And if he had, it would have been a misdemeanor. Had it been you all, it probably would have been a misdemeanor or something that was just kind of swept under the rug. But because he is who he is, see, the prosecution don't give a damn about no Jay Williams. Let's live life. They see his success. They know, trust me, these people are not stupid. They see the amount of subscribers that he has. They look up and see the amount of, what these type of individuals make that have this amount of subscribers. They know. Hey, he makes more than us. He's more successful than us. Oh, he think he's bigger than the law. We're going to show him. We don't give a damn about Jay Williams. Now, you might run across a good prosecutor, but it's rare. It's very, very rare. Not to say that there's not any judges. There's some decent judges. But in the major scheme of things, we're going to show you, Jay. We're going to show you that you're not bigger than the system. And oftentimes, that's just how it works, man. Understand that these are the words that he said. I'm just a man. Again, I understand that you all watch him on video. People watch it's crazy. When he drops a video, like the views are just astronomical. And I'm watching, but I'm not watching I'm watching in admiration, not no form of, any form rather, of jealousy. Not being envious, but I watch and But this is something that he built from ground up. He didn't have nobody that brought him into the game and said, hey, you all, this is Jay Williams. Go subscribe to his channel. He didn't have that. He came in from the mud, the real live mud. A lot of rappers, they talk about they got it from the mud. And no, he really, really got it from the mud. I'm really getting it from the mud. Dante from the Dante Show Network is really, really getting it from the mud. Fleece Johnson, Hustle Spirit 502 from the mud. We had no co-signers. We ain't had nobody, hey, man, y'all go check out. I understand Jay did shout my channel out and things of that nature, but I'm saying there are people that are kind of brought into this game on a silver platter. They already have a name. They already have a situation or something that they've done, and they're able to go straight to Vlad TV. and these bigger platforms. Therefore, people's gonna follow him to their own platforms. Now, he came into the game, man, just strictly from the mud. He told me all the time, he's like, man, when I started this, I didn't even know I could get paid. I just started telling my story. He said, man, I would get 40, 50, 60 views, 100 views, 200 views, and then boom, I had a video, it took off. Then I had another video that took off. Then people continue to come back to my channel. See, you can have a million views, but are a million people going to return and continue to watch? You know, a million's not. But if you have 100,000 that continue to rock with you, man, it's a beautiful thing, man. So again, I just wanted to salute Jay Williams, give him his flowers. Once again, tell you, if don't nobody else understand, I do. Keep doing your thing, brother. Push along. You're going to do great things. You already done great things. I see nothing but brightness in your future. I never switch up on you. He talked about how individuals, he thought it was cool with him once he was going through his turmoil. People was switching up on him. People that he thought would never say the things that they were saying was saying these things. See, I'm not envious in any form or fashion, man. I want to see you be successful. I want to see everybody else be successful. Because I know my turn is coming. But I got to pay my dues, man. Joyce Myers, I always talk about Joyce Myers, man. I watched her a lot when I was in prison, man. There's no elevator to success. Stairs. Stairs is the only way you can climb the ladder. I know we live in a microwave world. We want what we want, and we want it now. I want my money, and I want it now. Just real life situations, scenarios don't often work that way. Keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to continue to be blessed, man. Once again, shout out to Jay Williams, Let's Live Life. And shout out once again to the Dante Show Network, man. Because when I was struggling, I'm still struggling, but when I was really, really struggling, and he came along and he said, hey, bro, I think you got something, man. I really think that you have something. You're already on your way. I had about 3,000. I had close to 4,000 subscribers at the time. This was maybe about 5 months ago. You're on your way, but you just need a little nudge, a little push, pause, double pause, triple pause. Matter of fact, infinite pause. Let me show you how to tweak a couple things. Let me show you how to do this. And here I sit over 11,000 subscribers 5 months later and climbing the ladder every day, getting better. A lot of people's not going to do it. A lot of people's not going to reach out and extend you a hand and show you what you're doing wrong or how to correct certain things, or maybe not even what you're doing wrong, but just to, I'm gonna put you on this road. I'm gonna put you right here. Okay, you right here, and that's cool. But let me show you how to do this, and you'll be right here. You did it all on your own. I ain't doing nothing. I just gave you a little help, man. And I, man, forever be grateful. I consider Dante my friend. We talk on the phone a couple times a week, probably more than that, man. It's really genuinely my friend, man. So again, shout out to the Dante Show Network. And we're going to see how far we can take this thing. Real Kenz TV, man. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Definitely share this. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. Welcome home, Jay Williams.